Hello, good evening, Karen. How are you? Is everything okay?
Hi, teacher. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. And you?
Great, that's great. I'm fine. Thanks for asking, Karen. Sorry, I just got into the meeting. I was finishing with the other course. Perhaps you tried to join and it was not possible. All right, sorry for making you wait. So, did you try it before? Did you receive the message that I was in another meeting? Or
Uh,
you just joined now?
mm, I received a message that you are in other session, but I'm waiting. Don't
Okay,
worry.
okay, thanks. Thanks. No, it was a lot of time. Look, it's 7:52. I didn't even realize about the time. Okay, so thanks for waiting, Karen. Closing that one. So good. Now we're good to start. We're going to continue working then. We're finishing everything now, Karen. You know that this week, or yes, this week, we're finishing everything. Next week is only going to be for the conversations. So we have one extra thing to do, that is the articles, and that's what we're going to practice now. So let me share my computer screen now so that you can see. Good. It's not working. Now it's working. Good. So first, we're going to go to this, let's say, file. Remember that today we're also going to practice some writing as we have some time. And Friday is going to be directly related to speaking practice and the doubts that you might have. So the link for this file, as always, is in the chat. And we're going to go to the presentation itself. That is this one, articles, and, or the. It's a very simple lesson, Karen, as I told you. Sometimes it's not that easy to use the, but if you understood everything related to the example that I showed you, right, about dogs or the dogs, people or the people, then it is going to be okay. So, in general, let's try to explain this, Karen. When do you use these articles? When do you use and the or the?
Well, I think that the is for something that is singular, and for something that have in the first letter of the word is a vowel, vowel, and that is for um, uh, things that are singular or plural, but in a specific way.
Very good. That is correct. Great. On the word you were doubting is going to be vowel. Okay, vowel.
Okay.
The vowel. Good. Great. So good. We have a and an, right, for singular nouns, right? A teacher, an instrument, right? A teacher, a T consonant, so a. An instrument, you have a vowel, so n. And the correct singular or plural, but they are a specific object or people. Good. So let's read the definition for articles, please, Gary.
Articles are words that define a noun and a specific or unspecific.
Good. Right? So we know if it's unspecific, it's going to be a or an or no article, right? If it's a specific, it's going to be the, right? So specific, the, and a specific, no article in plural, or a or an in singular, right? We know that. So let's go to the next part. We know this, okay? I'm going to read it. So we have two types, definite articles and indefinite articles, right? And the definite is only the, and the indefinite is going to be a or an. Let us start with the definite. Let's read this one, please.
The definite article is the word la. It limits the meaning of a noun to one particular thing.
Good. Great. So you know that here it means one particular thing can be one specific thing or one specific group or one specific set of actions. That's why you say, right, the dogs. If you say the dogs is not every dog, the dogs means a specific, right? Dogs. That's the meaning of that group of objects or animals over there. Very specific. Here we have an example that is very simple, but again, we're going to try to use this in writing. Let's read this example, please, Karen.
Your friend might ask, are you going to the party this weekend? The definite article tells you that your friend is referring to a specific party that both of you know about.
Great, right? So if I say again, the party, it means it's one specific party. But how can you explain this? If I ask you this, Karen, are you going to a party this weekend? What is the difference between that one and this example? Are you going to a party this weekend? What is the meaning of my question in that case?
That the people that is asking doesn't know about the or I don't know if I say the party that these people is talking. I don't know. If
Yes.
it's correct, use the party in this sentence.
Yes, you can mention that one to explain it is not incorrect, it is good. Or you can simply say, right, that this person wants to know if you're going to any event that is a party this weekend, right? It's not the party, it's not a specific event, it's any event, any party that could take place this weekend, right? So that's the difference, right? If you say, are you going to the party? It means I know what party, the big party, right? Are you going to that party? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. But are you going to a party this weekend? It means, are you going to go out this weekend? Are you going to any event that is a party this weekend? And you can say, yes, actually, I think there's an interesting party there. I'm going to go there, I think. Or you can say, no, I'm not in the mood, right, for going to parties this weekend. I'm going to stay home, right? So what you say is okay, but if you want to avoid using the in the explanation, you can use the expression any, right? To go to any parties or any event that happens to be a party. All right, so good. That is the main difference. Again, this is clear, I think, but do you have any questions about that difference between a party and the party?
No.
Okay, let's keep going, right? Again, this is going to be easy, but let's be careful when we don't have articles. That's the only tricky part. And also the words with which we use the, that is going to be at the end of the presentation. So here we have some examples. Let's read this with the definite article, please.
The definite article can be used with singular, plural, or uncountable nouns. The exam is today. I didn't like the movie. I will go to the United States.
That is correct. So you have the exam, right? And you have the movie, and you have the United States, right? Because they are specific, because perhaps we know what exam we're talking about, we know what movie we're talking about, or in this case, this is a country, right? And it's specific, unique, and also we have a rule for that one we're going to see later on. But let's repeat only this word, please, Karen. Remember, instead of u, here is going to be more like you. So it's going to be singular, singular.
Singular.
Singular, good. Exactly. So it's singular, plural, right? And it's like this, right? Plural and uncountable, right? So none of these us are like real us, right? They are not u. They are you, they are or a. So good. Now, my question, I have another question here. What are the two possible pronunciations of the article the? There are two possible pronunciations, right? What are those pronunciations for this word, Karen?
The.
Good. And when do we use the and when do we use the? I think you explained that before, but we can do it again.
I think that when when in the word we have in the first vowel, I, or
Good. Good. So how do you pronounce this?
the exam,
The exam, correct. And what about this one?
the movie,
The movie. Great. So that's the answer. It is correct. It means if you have a vowel, the. If you have a consonant, the. Here, you say the United. You don't say the United States. Why? Because you have a vowel, but it has a consonant sound, like the Y. Right? That's why you say the United States and not the United States. Right? Good. So great. So far, I think so far so good. Again, any questions you're going to let me know. But the main idea later on is going to be writing a paragraph to keep practicing the connectors that we know because we need to take advantage and try to use these articles. Okay, definite and indefinite articles. So let's keep going. Now that was definite. We're not going to practice again. We're going to practice everything at the end in paragraphs. Let's read indefinite articles, please, Karen.
the indefinite article takes two forms. It is the word a when it precedes a word that begins with a consonant. It's the word and when it precedes a word that begins with a vowel. It indicates that a noun refers to a general idea rather than a particular thing.
All right, one more time. Sometimes my mouse gets lost. This one, remember, you only say like S when the singular form sounds like S. For example, office, right? Office, then it's going to be offices, right? Because S is a different sound. But if it's only precede, in this case, it's precede. If it's like the, then you don't need to add S, only S. So it's going to be precedes. All right, let's repeat that one, please. Precedes.
Precedes.
All right, good. And also this word is going to be the same rule as singular, right? If it's singular, how do you read this with this U over here?
With an S?
No, in singular, right, you read it singular, right? But singular is Spanish, right? If you say particular, that's also not correct. How do you read this?
Particular.
Particular, good, that's better. All right, good. So indefinite can be a or an. It depends on the starting word, right? If it's a vowel or if it's a consonant. So it's just a long explanation for that one, Karen. If you have questions about the words, you can let me know. All right, let's go to the next part. This is very easy, so I'm going to read this for you. It says, the indefinite article only appears with singular nouns. You know that one, right? Singular nouns, not for plural. So a doctor, and it has to be there. If you say she is doctor, is that correct or incorrect, Karen? If you say she's doctor.
I don't know. I think that is incorrect.
It is incorrect. In English, it's incorrect if you say she is doctor. Okay, if you say, in Spanish you say, right, ella es doctora, o ella es enfermera, o ella es, and the profession, or él es doctor, o él es psicólogo, right? But in English, that's incorrect. You always say, he or she is a doctor, she is a nurse, he is a nurse, he is a doctor, he is a psychologist, right? Always. If you don't use this article, if you don't use with singular indefinite nouns, then the idea is incorrect. Okay, you always use a. The same here, but you say n. So it happened again. You say n whenever you have a consonant or in this case, a vowel, right? So if you have a vowel, it is going to be the or n, sorry. So an alligator. So what is, in this case, alligator? Do you know this word?
I don't know. I suppose that is this lagarto.
Okay, yes, yes. There are many types. You look, actually, in Spanish, is also called like alligator sometimes, but it's a type of crocodile. Okay, un tipo de cocodrilo. I think it's a smaller. An alligator is a smaller type of crocodile. Okay, so you have a crocodile, then you have an alligator. Alligators are also big, Karen. All right, so it's not going to be exactly lagarto because that's going to be like a lizard sometimes. Okay, lizard. So alligator, it's just like a crocodile. And sometimes if you see an alligator, it's going to be like a crocodile. Okay, I think the only difference is the form or the shape of the body that they have. Okay, but both are big and both are dangerous, right? So good, but in this case, we're just seeing that word because it starts with a vowel, so it means that we need n, right? Have you seen an alligator before? Yes or no, right? That's it. Let's keep going. We're indefinite. Now, here we have exceptions, and this is important. This is related to the United States, right? Why you say the United States and you don't say the United States. So let's read these exceptions, please.
There are few exceptions to the general rule of using a before words that start with consonants and n before words that begin with vowels. The first letter of the word honor, for example, is a consonant, but it's unpronounced. In speed of its spelling, the word honor begins with a vowel sound. Uh, therefore, we use on.
Good. So honor, good. In this case, sometimes we pronounce the H, right? And you would say hospital because it's correct, hospital. But in this case, you don't say honor, right? As you did it in the beginning, it's very good, honor. So as the sound is vowel, we say it's an honor to meet you, right? You don't say it's an honor, right? It's an honor because it has the vowel sound. It doesn't have the consonant sound, right? So at the end, it doesn't depend on the writing if it starts with a vowel. It depends on the sound, right? It depends on the sound. If it sounds as a vowel, then you have to say N. If it sounds as a consonant, then you say right? And depends on the sound. Now, let's practice these two words, please. This one is going to be unpronounced, okay? Unpronounced.
Unpronounced.
Good, pronounced. And this one, this expression is interesting. In spite of, okay? Spite. So, in spite of. Let's repeat that one, please.
In spite of.
Good. Do you know when to use and how to use in spite of, Karen?
No.
No? Okay, so let's try to learn it. In spite of shows a type of contrast. Okay, so for example, this is my example. You say, in spite of the fact that I like, that I love pasta, comma, I'm not eating pasta now because I'm sick. Okay, in spite of the fact of, or in spite of my sickness, okay, in spite of my sickness, comma, I am going to go to a party tonight. All right, so it means that even though this is real, comma, I'm going to do the opposite to what you are expecting. All right, that's the idea. And again, you can translate this idea sometimes to a pesar de. All right, so that's in spite of. In spite of, and after in spite of, Karen, you need a phrase, okay? Not a complete idea. A phrase is an incomplete idea. Why? Because a phrase is only a subject, or a phrase is only a verb, or a phrase is only an object. All right, that's why here you say it's a spelling. Its spelling means su escritura. That's not a complete sentence, right? That's a phrase. So you have to use only a phrase, or if you want to use a complete sentence, Karen, you have to say the fact that. All right, in spite of the fact that, after that you can use a complete sentence. Okay, I'm writing that in the chat. In spite of the fact that. A pesar del hecho de que, that's the meaning. All right, in spite of the fact that. Only after that you use a complete sentence. Then you always use a comma, and then you tell me the opposite to what I'm expecting. All right, so that's the meaning of in spite of. I don't know if you have questions about that one, Kat. Let me know, please.
No, it's okay.
Oh, good. A similar word, it's the same meaning, is despite. Only despite. It's in the chat. If you say in spite of, or if you say despite, or despite, sorry, the meaning is the same. It's exactly the same. So here you can say, despite its spelling, comma, the word honor begins with a vowel sound. Therefore, we use and. Okay, the same meaning. But you don't say despite of. Okay, that's incorrect. You only say in spite of or despite. One of those two. So let's keep going. Those are new words. So here we have examples. Let's read those examples, please. And you're going to try to tell me. Later, I'm going to ask you questions. First, let's read the examples, Karen.
Okay. An honest man and United States senator, a UK company, a university, an LCD screen, HR department.
All right, good. All right, HR department. Good. So the question, why are we using here a if we have a vowel? And why are we using here an if we have a consonant? What do you say?
I don't know. Okay. Because in the first one, because the word you, it sounds like a like a letter Y, I think. And the second, I think that the word is L, start with an E. So I think that is why we use and
Correct. That is perfect. I think everything was well done. I don't even have observations. Okay, that's correct. It's the sound. Okay, it doesn't depend on the writing, on the spelling. It depends on the sound of the next word. Right here, it's a vowel, but the sound is like a consonant, right? The Y. That's why you say e, right? A-U-K, right? You don't say N-U, right? N-U-K. If you say that one also in phonetics, it sounds weird. N-U-K, N-U-K, right? It's weird. So only a UK company, right? A UK company, a United States senator, a university, right? It's not an university, no, a university. And here, yes, this is L, this is H. So the sound is vowel, right? So that's why we say N. And LCD is not a L, right? It's also weird. Directly an LCD screen. Good. And HR department. So I think that's it up to this part, to the sounds, to the vowels, to the pronunciation. This is only something extra, but I'm going to ask you in your writing, you're going to use some of these words, all right, some of these expressions. But let's keep going to the last part before we write our paragraphs, Karen. Here you have articles and adjectives, and you worked with adjectives before. So this is a review only, Karen. Let's read this one, please.
Sometimes an article modifies a noun that is also modified by an adjective. The usual word order is article plus adjective plus noun. If the article is indefinite, choose A or N based on the word that immediately follows it. A meeting, a very important meeting. Elisa will bring a small gift to Sophie's party. I heard an interesting story yesterday.
Good. Only this word, please. Remember, here is okay, but here is present. What is the pronunciation for the past?
Heard.
Huh? More than E is more like A. Heard.
Heard.
Heard, exactly. So here, heard, heard. Good, great. So again, here they are only telling you, you can say any words, right? For example, a doctor, a doctor. But if you add an adjective, you have to be careful, because if you want to add the adjective important, you don't say a doctor anymore. You say an important doctor, right? So you change the add to N, because now you have important, right? So it's a doctor, an important doctor, a movie, an interesting movie, right? So the word changes according to the word next to it, right? So that is what they are telling you here, that you have to be careful when you use adjectives, because you're using this word not because of the adjective, right? Karen, you don't use articles with adjectives. You don't say he is a tall, right? That's incorrect. You say he's tall, but you can say he's a tall person. He's a tall guy, right? You use only this because of this word, because of the noun. This is because of this, but the word that you use depends on the beginning of the adjective, right? That's something we know, but it's important to understand those rules. The same here, right? You can say a story, a story, but if you have interesting in the middle, then you're going to say an interesting story. But again, N is not for interesting. N is for story, but it follows the rule according to the word next to it, right? So that's it. Again, this has to be clear because we're going to use almost all of these rules in the paragraphs that we're going to write. So do you have questions or comments about this part? Let me know, please.
No.
All right, let's keep going then. And this is the last part. Here are some situations, specific rules to use the, okay? Only to use the. Let's begin reading everything, please, Karen.
Okay. Rivers, mountain, rangers, seas, oceans, and geographic areas all use for example, the Thames, the Alps, the Atlantic Ocean, the Middle East. Unique things have for example, the sun, the moon, what's the moon? I don't know. Musical instruments use she plays the piano. Sports don't have an art. Sports don't have an article. He plays football.
Thank you very much. So all of these elements, except for sports, all of them use the, right? You have to use the, even for the names of rivers, right? So if you know, if you want to mention a name of the river here or in any country, you need to use the, right? The name, and you can say river, right? That whatever, right? The Tarija River, right? The, I don't know, the Bolivia River. But let's practice actually only these words because everything else I think was good. This, remember, is a, so this is going to be range, but in plural, ranges.
Ranges.
Ranges. In this case, mountain ranges means like cadenas montañosas, right? Mountain ranges. So, for example, here, you know, the Andes, right? So it's not going to be only Andes, it's going to be the Andes, right? That's a mountain range, the Andes. The same here, right? As this is in English, so this is going to be Thames, the Thames or the Alps, okay? But it doesn't matter because those are different names. But this is important because this is like the word in English. This O is going to be like O, and this more like sh. So like ocean, ocean. Let's repeat that one, please.
Ocean.
Ocean. And this more like air, only like ocean, ocean. One more time, please.
Ocean.
Ocean. And this one, the middle, you have EA, that's E, right? So the Middle East.
Okay. The Middle East.
Exactly, right? So instead of est, it's only east. All right, good. I think that's it. I don't know if you have any questions about this rule so far, Gary.
No.
All right, let's go to the next one. This one over here, please.
Illness. Illness. Don't have an article. He's got an appendicitis, but we say a cold, head, head, headache. Jobs use a. I am a teacher. Countries, we don't use a if the country is singular. He lives in England. But if the country's name has a plural, meaning we use the People's Republic of China, the Netherlands, the United States of America. Continents, towns, and streets don't have an article. Africa, New York, Church Street.
Thank you very much, Karen. Once again, give me please 1 second. I had more words to mark, but I couldn't do it because of this computer. But this was one of those words. This one was the other one. We're going to verify that one. Okay. And also this one, just in case. And yes, that's it. So this is important, okay? This is only with the word. You don't use articles except for this, right? Let's say, but we say a cold or this word. I'm going to make you repeat that word before. Then jobs, that's what I was telling you, right? You have to use an article for jobs, for the profession. It's incorrect if you don't use an article for professions. Then we don't use articles for countries except for plural countries or those names, right, that are very specific and they include the word the, mainly when they are plural, right? For example, the United States, okay? But also you have United Kingdom. That's also considered like many places united into one. That's why you also say the UK, and you don't say only UK, right? You have to say the UK. You have to say the US. If you say I went to US last month, that's incorrect. right? You always say, I went to the US, right? The United States. And again, right, city, towns, and streets don't have articles. We know that. But before that, let's repeat these words. Remember, this is the rule. If the singular form has an S sound, it means that now you need to make noticeable the S at the end. For example, it's one illness, but what is the plural of illness? Illnesses, right? One office, two offices, right? So if it finishes in S, the sound S, then you need to add the S sound, okay? Illness, illnesses. But if it's only like any other word, like for example, boy, right? Boy is not S, so you don't say boys, right? It's only boys, right? Boys, but again, only the S sound. So this is going to be illnesses. Let's repeat that word, please, Karen.
Illnesses.
Illnesses, good, right? For example, disease. We saw that yesterday, right? Disease. What is the plural of disease?
Diseases.
Diseases. Exactly. This is not that bad. Only this E is going to be I, so it's appendicitis.
Appendicitis.
And this, read this word one more time, please.
Headache.
In this case, that ch is going to change only to k, like headache. All right, and it applies to any part or many parts of your body, right? Headache, earache, toothache, stomachache, backache, right? It means that you have pain, that something is producing pain in that part of the body. Okay, so let's repeat that word one more time, please.
Headache.
Headache, good, right? So you have headache. I have a strong headache. And finally, this word, how do you read this word, actually, this country over here?
Netherlands.
And it should be like that again, right? English is breaking the rules many times. English breaks the rules that they want. In this case, it's only going to be like A, okay? So it's going to be Netherlands, the Netherlands. Let's repeat that one, please.
The Netherlands.
Netherlands, exactly, right? So, and we don't say again, we have to say the Netherlands because this is plural, right? And for plural countries, we use the. So good. That's it. Again, do you have any questions about this part? Let me know, please.
No.
All right.
Yeah. If I say something about our country, Bolivia, I can use the Bolivia? No.
No, it's going to be incorrect unless you use the political name. You know, I think that Bolivia has a different name for other countries, and I think they call it like the plurinational state of Bolivia, right? If that's the case, you can use the. Okay, you say the plurinational state of Bolivia. But if you only mention the name of the country, then only Bolivia. All right, good.
Okay.
So we have one more thing, and with this we finish. And with this, we're going to write the paragraph. And in that paragraph, you're going to have a lot of rules in Karen. But it's important to apply this knowledge that we have. So let's finish by reading this one, please.
Okay. Theaters, cinemas, and hotels have the Odeon, the Almeria, the Hilton. Abbreviations use the UN, the USA, the EMF. When we use that before classes of people, the rich, the poor, the British.
Good, great. Look, I don't know what does IMF stands for. Okay, this is an abbreviation. Actually, I don't know. It must be an institution or something, but here they have organizations. Perhaps it's an organization, okay? I don't know. But here is going to be important only the pronunciation. How do you read this acronym? Okay, you say sigla, acronym. How do you see this acronym again, Karen? How do you read it?
EMF.
But remember that this is E. Right? If this is E, how do you read this one over here?
E.
But the E is this one, right? Remember that this word is I, right? The IMF.
IMF.
The IMF. Exactly. So if it's English, you only use the English words. So the UN, the USA, the IMF, right? And you can use here, for example, the USE, right? The THE, the ALM, the HOT, and so on and so forth, right? Only the spelling of the word, and it's going to be okay. So that one, again, these are names of places that perhaps we don't know here, but these are hotels, cinemas, theaters in the United States. These are organizations, right? The UN, this is very well known. The United Nations, right? La Organización de las Naciones Unidas, that's the UN. In Spanish, you say ONU, but in English, it's only UN. Okay, UN, the UN, the USA, and again, IMF, but I'm not sure what's this organization about. And classes of people, that's interesting, all right? The rich, the poor, the British, the French, the Americans, all right? The Chinese, and so on and so forth, all right? To talk about classes, let's say, or the differences in terms of social differences, right? But that's it. I don't know, again, now the question is in general about the entire lesson before going to the practice for writing, Karen. Do you have any questions? Let me know, please.
No. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Again, it's good. This is not something that new. Perhaps the last part is new, but also if you realize it's something that sometimes we understand, right? And we suppose that it wasn't that way. So it's great. Now let's try to apply this knowledge. And remember that you have access to this presentation. You can open the presentation if you want, Karen, because you're going to need it to be sure that you're following the rules. Google Classroom, Unit 4, and the presentation is over here, right? No, that's Lesson 3. Actually, they did that before. It's in Lesson 2. Okay, so we worked on Lesson 1, Lesson 3, now we're working on Lesson 2, because this is something not new, but we're finishing. This is the last lesson, but here is in number 2. You can open that one, and here I'm going to write the, let's say, let me get to a new page here. I'm going to write the instructions for this paragraph, all right? And you're going to let me know if you have questions about it, all right? So I'm going to mention also, I'm not going to write it only. First, it's one paragraph, and it can be 2 paragraphs if you have the time to do it. So that's the first, okay? 1 or 2 paragraphs using the, all right, knowledge from this unit, let's say. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I'm not putting the I. Then you have to use all the articles that we learned about. All right, use all the articles that we learned about. All right, it means you have to use a, an, and the. Then use plural. All right, use indefinite plural. For example, I'm giving you the example from yesterday, right? Dogs are nice or cute, I think it was. Doesn't matter. All right, this is indefinite plural. It means it's plural, very general plural, that is not specific for only one group. It applies to all kinds of this species, right? So that's easy. Then you have to use again, use indefinite singular words. Sorry, I have a mistake there, doesn't matter, with exceptions. Okay, what is the meaning of that one, with exceptions? It means that you can use one of these words or any other words. For example, an honest man, a United States senator, a UK company, etc. So I'm going to write the two examples here. Okay, a UK company. Of course, you're going to do something different, but you can follow those examples. Or an LCD, yes, screen. Okay, those are examples. That's what I mean that you need exceptions. All right, so we're covering everything that we have here. Then this one as well. All right, adjectives plus noun. Use, all right, at least, sorry, let's say 3. All right, 3 adjectives plus nouns with their articles. All right, it means, for example, an interesting movie. Okay, so that's what I said, at least 3 using those ones. And now the rules. I'm going to say, and we're going to decide according to which ones can be interesting. Musical instruments. Okay, one of these rivers can be, okay? So in terms of rules, these are the rules that you have to use. Okay, rivers or mountain ranges. That's one. Then let's use also musical instruments. That's the rule for that one. Then just a couple more. All right. No, it only says no. Countries. All right, plural countries. All right. And okay, abbreviations is going to be. Okay, good. So that's what we have to do. It means that in the paragraph, or again, it's 1 or 2 paragraphs, we have to use this information. It means we need to use the articles, we need to use the indefinite plural, we need to use the singular nouns with exceptions, right? And UK or an LCD. Then at least 3 adjectives plus nouns. It means an interesting movie. And then read these rules, okay? One related to rivers or mountain ranges, the other one to musical instruments, the other one to plural countries, and finally, abbreviations. Okay, and this is not a rule, but try to use these connectors. If you remember, I don't know if we have it here. We don't have it, right? But again, very, very shortly, I'm going to remind you that you can use connectors or expressions like this one, right? You can say first plus the complete idea. I'm just going to write a couple, please. All right, so it's going to be first, complete idea, period. And you have the same idea, but with, can be instead of first, also, right? Then instead of also, you have then or additionally, right? And then you can also use this expression, remember, you can have complete idea, right, comma, and a fanboy, right? Remember the fanboys, any of those fanboys, and complete idea. Right, and you finish by showing perhaps contrast if it's possible. All right, you can say, for example, on the other hand, or you can say, however, And finally, you finish by saying, or finally, or to conclude, right? Or you can say to finish. That's it. Okay, that's the structure that you can use, Karen. I don't know if you have questions about these words, about these suggestions for structures, about these connectors, or about the instructions in general. Karen, let me know, please.
Uh, I I need to do one or two paragraphs using all these yes, I don't know how to say it. These there are no tips, but I don't know how to say the things that you write.
That you wrote. It's okay. Or you can say, as these are instructions, you can use the verb follow, right? So you can say, I have to write one or two paragraphs following all those instructions, right? And yes, you have to use this. This is obligatory, let's say, right? One or two paragraphs and everything here, you have to do it. Now, these are only recommendations. You can use that one. Of course, it's interesting and important that you can use it. It's a recommendation because okay, it doesn't have to have this order, but you need to have connectors because your paragraph has to be connected. Okay, it needs to feel that your ideas are connected and related to each other. All right. Now, here, if I don't say, here you need to use all of them, but it means that it's enough if you say one example with a, one example with and, one with the. But you know that you can use a lot of examples with that one. Here it says indefinite plural. So it means perhaps it's only one example. One is enough. But if you can write more examples with indefinite plural, very good. Here I don't say again how many. It says perhaps words with exceptions. So perhaps two, and that's it. More than enough. Here I say three of this one, but it can be part of the same idea, right? And all these rules. So that's why perhaps it's not going to be one paragraph, not enough. Perhaps it's going to be two, but that's what we need to do. All right. I don't know if you have any more questions, Karen. Just let me know, please.
I write about what about?
You can write about whatever you want as long as you're following this one. If you feel comfortable with present, you can talk about present if you want. No problem. You can give me a past idea or story to practice what we learned. Also, it's possible. If you want to tell me about your future plans, it's also possible. All right. As long as you're following these instructions, there's no other specific information that I need. It can be present, past, future. It can be about you. It can be about a country. It can be about your cat. All right. It can be about whatever you want. All right.
Okay.
Good. So if it's clear, let's do it, please. We are 8:44, so it's not bad. As this might be one or two paragraphs, we usually give the 5 to 6 minutes, but let's give 8 minutes. All right. In those 8 minutes, Karen, try to write as much as you can. Can be one big paragraph, or you can try to divide that idea in two paragraphs. Okay, one big paragraph or two paragraphs in 8 minutes, as much as you can. Try to follow as many of these instructions as you can. Again, perhaps it's not going to be enough, the 8 minutes, but do as much as you can, and we're going to check how you did it. Okay, good. Let's do it, please. 8 minutes and we check. If you have questions, just let me know. Here
Teacher,
we
I
go.
can write. How can I say debajo below? This is this that I marked.
What part? You want to write it over there? It's better if you write it over here directly below your own examples in your name.
Okay, okay.
Here, right in this part, down below, over there.
Okay.
Okay, good. Let's do it again. Any question, you're going to let me know. I'm going to be seeing how you're writing.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's have 30 extra seconds, please. Let's try to finish some details and we check.
Okay. So,
All right, finish that idea. Let's check. And actually, no, let's check everything and we're going to finish that last idea together. All right. Now, here you have a lot of things. And again, I think in general, you have a lot of interesting information, but we're going to try to use different connectors to try to use different words sometimes. All right. For mainly not in the vocabulary, but in the words to connect like and, right? Instead of and, we're going to use different, let's say, alternatives. But let's keep working. First, let's read everything in general, and we're going to check how many of the instructions we were able to follow. So here you have, actually, let's read you by yourself first, Karen, and I'm going to be seeing some details.
one of the most interesting things about how cats use their, I don't know how to say bigotes, o sea, no sé, so I put only bigotes. It's when they want to pass from one place to another and have some object that, and he first, and the first, that on the first looks as they cannot pass, but they can. Around the world, many studies have been done, and in the UK, researchers found that the the testing cats not only use their bigotes, also their eyes, and I also say paws.
Okay, pause. Okay, write that one, and we're going to check. Thank you. So let's check first. You say, now this is interesting. All right, in the first part, how do you know when to use comma or when not to use comma in an idea like this? This is the biggest clue in the first part, Karen. All right, and it's going to be that if you don't have a subject after that complete idea, then you don't have to use a comma because it's going to be incorrect. It's like dividing the subject from the verb, right? And you never do that. It's like saying, right, Luis, comma, is tall, right? And you don't do that. Here, this is what is happening because you're saying pam, 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 is, it means that everything here, this is actually not an introductory phrase that you have. This is actually your subject. And again, how do you know? Because you have directly the verb.
Okay.
Okay, so the comma is going to be incorrect over there. So it's going to be one of the most interesting, right? Remember, the pronunciation is going to be more like in this part, interesting. So one of the most interesting things about how cats use their, this is a specific names, all right, is whiskers. Whiskers. Bigote actually it's only for people, right? You say mustache, the mustache, right, for people. But in this case, those whiskers are a type of more than bigotes. They're going to be a type of hair, okay, because it has a function, right? It's a type of hair that has function in cats and in other animals as well, right? But the cat's whiskers are very noticeable. So good. Whiskers, no comma, is, you say here when, but could be the time, or you can say directly that. But let's check the full idea. It's when they want to pass from one place to another. Okay, good. So that's one idea up to that part. Then you are adding more and have some. If you have some, after some you need a plural countable noun or an uncountable noun. So here you need either. You have to decide here, Karen. If you want to say only one object, then you cannot say some. Okay, you're only going to say an, because an can be also un objeto, but it's not a specific, right? Because if you say some, you have to say objects. All right, so it's an object or some object. Okay, always after some and after any, you need a plural or uncountable. Now, I don't get this idea, but let's suppose, because if not, we're not going to get that idea. But remember, an object or some object. Then you say that. What do you mean by they have an object that?
I don't know. And I want to say that the first looks is it's like the cat can pass.
All right, but
I don't
if
know
you
why.
take a look at this that, right, it's going to be not necessary, I think, right? If you analyze, because you say an object that, if you say that, we expect another sentence directly connected. You can say, for example, an object that is in front of the car or of the cat, sorry, right? So you're giving more information after that. But if you don't have more information and you have and, it's not going to be correct, right? So after that, a complete idea, or you can simply eliminate that. So what do you say? Do you want to say something after that, or you're going to add directly something with and?
Put something directly.
Okay, so then we can delete this one. Now, in this next part, my recommendation, you have and this is one explanation. In Spanish, we use a lot of commas, right? Comma, 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 comma. But in English, it's better to use here a period, because this is a big idea, okay? And when you use a period in English, it doesn't mean that the topic is different, that now you're going to talk about something very different. No, in Spanish, it does. But in English, no. In English, you just say, okay, let's stop a little bit. Now let's continue. All right, it's like saying this was big enough. Now we can give a new idea. So instead of and, because you're using the and in other places, I think you have and here and you have and over here as well. So you can add another word. You can simply give me the next word, or you can say additionally, or then, or to add up. All right, some of those words. So here, when you say the first looks, what do you mean in that idea, the first looks?
When you see, but you don't see with you don't see with the concentration. You only see, and then you turn around.
All right. And here, are you talking about the cats, or are you talking about the idea in general? Because if you say first, it looks, do you want to say que parece, or you want to say that the cats are looking at something and they don't believe they can do
No,
it?
like the parecer.
All right. All right. So you always say it. Okay. So you can say instead of additionally, then the best option is this one. Okay. First, it looks. All right. It. Always. Because if not, if you don't use it with looks, it's not going to mean parecer. All right. So first, it looks as they cannot pass, or that directly over there. All right. Or as if they. Okay. That's interesting. Como si no pudieran. All right, so first it looks as if they cannot pass, or first it looks that they can pass. Both ideas are going to work. Let's follow the Google's ideas as if they cannot pass, but they can. All right, but again, if you want to say parecer, remember you can say looks or seems, but you always use that with it. Okay, if you say the, it's going to be incorrect. Only first, comma, it looks as if they cannot pass, comma, but they can, period. Around the world, good, you're giving more ideas, that is correct. But I'm going to be identifying. Here you have these ideas. This is the plural, indefinite plural, right? So very good. Then Here we have that one, right? We change it, but it's better if you use that one. Remember, an object or some object, right? So you use N. Then let's keep reading. Around the world, good, many studies have been done. Great. And in the UK, researchers, all right. Instead of searchers, if you want to say investigate about it, they have to be researchers. All right. Researchers found that the testing cats, all right, specific testing cats, all right, the testing cats not only used their, but here we need to organize this a little bit different. All right, so here you have the UK. I was forgetting that one. So, and in the UK, researchers found that instead of the testing cats not only use their, okay, no, it's okay, I got it now, whiskers, their whiskers, but also, all right, if you say not only, the structure is but also, all right, but also their eyes and paws, all right, and you can use this. It's not going to be obligatory because you don't have a complete idea after that, okay? It's directly connected to that one. So I think it's interesting. After that part, I think it's working good. We need to add more of those instructions, but up to this point, I want to know if you have any questions about these corrections or recommendations, Karen. Let me know, please.
No.
All right. Do you get right here? You know that you can have very big sentences. This is the subject. This is the, sorry, this is the verb is, and everything here is just the complement, right? Then period. When you have long ideas, it's a good idea to have periods or semicolons, all right, in order not to create confusion with the next part and the next part. In English, they want to avoid that one. That's why they prefer to divide the periods in this way. Then you start explaining, right? You say, first, it looks as if they cannot pass, comma, but they can, period. Around the world, many studies have been done. And in the UK, researchers found that testing cats not only use their whiskers, but also their eyes and paws. All right, and that's it. Good. So we got to work, I think, with some of them. We didn't use all of them, right? I think we're missing a. We didn't use it. You have that one as well. I think we don't have also the exception, right? You have the UK, but we didn't got to use the exception. This plural, let me check if we have this one. You have one of the most interesting things. Good. In this case, but it's not singular, right? You have this in plural, adjective plus the word, and it's good, but it's not going to be plural. And also here, right, there are whiskers and also there's cats. Okay, so we're missing that one. We're going to try to give speaking examples, all right, not writing, and then the rules, right? So we're missing those ones. So now let's try to use these ones in some examples, okay? All right? What ideas can you give me? Give me only one sentence. It can be a big sentence, right? Like this one at the beginning of your idea. Can be a big sentence in which you use, sorry, it's here, a, or the three of them. It can be one or two sentences, up to you, only speaking. What example can you give?
Uh, uh, nutrition doctor. I don't know. Nutrition doctor.
Okay. You can call it directly nutritionist. A
Okay.
nutritionist.
Nutritionist. And want that the patients eat more healthy, and he recommend eat an apple.
Good. That was great. That was interesting. An apple, and you can say a day or daily, right? Good. Great. I think what that was very clever, Karen. Good. Right. A nutritionist is a professional who you can say wants, right? They are patients to eat healthy, right? Or the patients to eat healthy, right? He recommends to eat an apple a day, right? That's the phrase also in English, right? An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Like in Spanish, right? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So good, great. What about that one? Okay, so we got that. What about this? You can use these examples, or you can use or different ones, but only again one sentence in which you can use two of these exceptions, the pronunciation with these words. And actually, I'm going to show you the words themselves, so you can use any of them. Okay? One example, one sentence in which you can use two of these exceptions. And remember, the sentence can be compound. It means that you can have one complete idea, comma, and another complete idea.
Um, the next year, she's going to enter a university of, I can invent a nombre, a name.
Yeah, but if you add a name, then it's not in a specific, right? Remember, you only add a or an
Yes.
if it's any university, right? So you can say she's going to enter a university.
Yes, okay. But
Uh-huh.
I can say University of Medicine. I don't know.
Mm,
Or
I
it's
think no, it's that's the faculty, right? A facultad. Yes, if it's a university, sometimes you have universities dedicated in the United States, right, to engineering, right? So you can specify a university for engineering, but that's also a little bit more specific,
okay.
right? It's better if you keep this the least specific possible to use an. Okay, good. Well, keep, please remember that that's one part. You need to use one more of these exceptions.
Okay. Um, the person who uh, who found a wallet, how can I say devolver? Get back?
Yes, to get back or to return.
Uh, uh, and return the wallet is an honest man.
Great. Yes, that is good. The person, right, who found a wallet and returned, instead of repeat the wallet again, you can say it, right? Who found the wallet and returned it, right, is an honest man. Good. That's perfect. All right, good. So we have that one. It is correct. Very good. So we have now the indefinite words with right? Now, three, but again, only two. And it has to be singular so that we see that this is happening. And again, I'm going to that part that is here. And try to do it in that way. Try to give me only one example, Karen, but try to use a compound example. It means subject, verb, complement, comma, and subject, verb, complement. It means that the two ideas are related. It means that it's more complex and that we can connect the two ideas. So what do you say? What example can you give me with those two ideas, connected ideas, using two of these structures? Article plus adjective plus noun. A small gift, an interesting story, a boring movie, a tall person, etc., etc. What do you say?
Tarija has a small town that is located afar from the city, but is an interesting place to visit.
All right, good. One more time, how do you say está ubicado lejos de la ciudad? One more time, only that part.
Yeah, far away? Far away? I don't know.
Oh, only far. You can say far from the city or far away from, right? From the city. But only not afar. Afar is going to be not necessary there. Okay, only far away. That is located far away from the city. Okay, and also not only locate, it has to be located with ed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so one more time. How do you say? Tarija, ¿no? Tiene un pueblo pequeño que está ubicado lejos de la ciudad. Only that part.
Okay. Tarija has a small town that is located far 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 from the city.
Okay, good, correct. And the next part was perfect. All right, I don't have observations about that. Right, an interesting place to visit or place to go. Good, great. Again, we're practicing now. If in case you have questions, you can let me know. But I see that everything is great. Now, rivers or mountain ranges. One example with that one. Let's start. Let's one by one. Then musical instruments, plural countries, and abbreviations. So let's work two at the time. So I think it's going to be weird, but let's try to do it. Again, the same idea, two ideas connected by and try to use in one part any river or mountain range, or if you want sea, oceans, geographic areas, it doesn't matter. And in the other part, a musical instrument. Okay, it can be weird, but let's try to do it.
Okay. Okay, the some call it ¿cómo se llama? Somewhere over the rainbow was filmed in the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, and the vocalist played the, how can I say ukulele?
It's the same, only the pronunciation is going to be like ukulele. Ukulele.
Plays the ukulele.
All right. Okay. Good. Great. Again, that was a clever example. One more time, Karen. Very good. Right. The song called "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," right, was filmed on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, and the vocalist, right, plays the ukulele or uses the ukulele, right, in the song. Good. Great. And that's a beautiful song, right? It's a cover, but it's a beautiful song, right? Do you know who or yes, who wrote the original song or when it was written?
I know the name of the writer, but I don't remember. But I know that he is died, but I
Good.
don't know when he write.
All right, but you know that it's not the person right from that video, right? That because that's a cover. right? Because he's Israel, right? Israel because with a Z and from Hawaii, right? But it was written before, right? And it was for this movie, and it was a movie in black and
Yes,
white movie.
the El Mago de Oz.
Yes, that's correct. The wizard, right? The wizard, the Oz wizard. Good, exactly. Good, and there you have, right? The girl singing. Good, that's great. Great, Kat. So let's go to the next part. This is the last one, and also we're going to have the time just to finish this one. Countries. Actually, we only have see one. No, actually, let's see the two of them, please, also. One country in plural, you have to use one country in plural or one name as this one, the People's Republic of China. And also you need to give me one abbreviation. Okay, so one country that uses the and one abbreviation. Again, in one sentence that can be connected. What can it be? What do you say?
Okay. The government of the UK don't want to the UN, UN, I can say UN organization or
No,
only,
directly UN, only UN.
okay, don't want that the UN interview, no es interview, how can I say intervenir?
Intervene, to intervene.
To intervene in their political problems.
And remember, as you're using political as adjective, adjectives are never plural, right? So only in their political, you can say issues, right? Political issues or political problems. Okay, good. Only two details there. Remember, try to use the first one. You're going to give me one more time the example, all right, with this one. It's okay to say the UK, but instead of UK, try to use the complete name so that you have the country there. Okay, so you're going to say the United Kingdom, or sorry, the government, right, of the United Kingdom. Instead of don't, as you're using the government as one entity, you're going to say doesn't instead of don't. All right, so the government, right, of the United Kingdom doesn't want the UN to intervene, right, in their political issues. Okay, so let's repeat that idea, please.
Okay, the government of the United Kingdom doesn't want that the UN to inter, intervene.
Intervene. Good. But if you say that, then you don't say to intervene. You're going to say doesn't want that the UN intervenes. Then you're going to use the third person.
Okay, that the UN intervenes with, in this case, I use with its issues.
Yes, if you want to give, you use there if you want to talk about the country, the problems of the country, of people in the country. But if you want to use about only the problems in the government, then you use its. Okay, so it depends. The problems of the people in the United Kingdom is going to be there, but the problems, right, of the government, only the government, is going to be its.
Okay, in this case, there's issues.
They are political issues, right?
Political issues.
Good, great. Good, very good, right? So sometimes again, you can try to look. Sometimes they use the same roots, right? Latin roots. You have intervene, right? To intervene, to procedure, right? That is similar to procedimiento, to commence, that is similar to comenzar, right? So sometimes they use the same roots, and it happened because of French, right? You know that actually English has a lot of influence from French. right? And they have a lot of French words that they use. That's why they have similar words from Latin, and that's similar to Spanish, right? If you don't find similarities, then you can look for other words. But in that case, intervenir, as you can see, it's going to be very similar, right? To intervene, it means to, right, to put you in between a conflict that
Mhm.
is not yours, right? So good. That's it. And with that, I think we finished. Let me check the instructions. Yes, that was the last one. We had rivers, mountain ranges, musical instruments, plural countries, and abbreviations. All right. So here, my only recommendation, this one was good. Again, try to use, or don't be afraid. Okay. It happens a lot when we speak Spanish as a first language and we write in English that we don't use a lot of periods. Okay. In English, we don't use a lot, sorry, in Spanish, we don't use a lot of periods, right? But in English, it's very common. Okay, it's very, very common to use periods because it gives a relief, right? Down alivio. It's like saying it's not too long, then period, then give me the first part, right? Comma and then period, right? The next part. If you feel that they are very related, instead of comma or instead of period, sorry, use a semicolon, right? Punto y coma. That's also a better option. All right,
Yeah.
semicolon, then additionally, comma, and the next idea, then period, right? So my recommendation, the commas, only when they are necessary, when you have, for example, fanboys, right? And nor so only use their use commas for introductory phrases, right? Yesterday, comma, I was going to do this, comma, but I forgot it, period. Therefore, it means como consecuencia, right? Therefore, comma, I decided to start again, period, right? That's why I feel better now. So you play with those ones and it's going to be good. And also here, right, it's good, but try to use more of those connectors to even make that better. You have here one, it's good, around the world, good, and the starting for this one. But if you try to use some of these other words, it's also going to help organize the ideas better. But that's it. Okay, do you have any questions before finishing today, Karen? Let me know, please.
No.
No? All right, good. So remember, we're about to finish everything. Tomorrow, the conversation is normal, right? I'll see you tomorrow to have that conversation, to finish working on that article. On Friday, we finish everything with this guy. It means we don't have any more lessons. Friday is only going to be for you to ask me questions about any lesson in the course, okay? From the first day up to this point. You can ask me questions if you have doubts, or if you want to practice a specific structure that you're not sure about, you can let me know. If everything is clear and I see again that everything is perfect, we're going to practice some speaking as we did, right, in some classes that we finished everything before. And that's going to be everything for this week. Next week, only the two conversations that we have left. And remember that you can take the final exam after the class on Friday. Okay, so that's some reminders that I wanted to give you. So to finish, as always, I'm sending the survey. Karen, let me know when you finish that one, please.
Okay, teacher.
Good. Thank you very much for being here. Also, thanks for waiting a lot at the
No
beginning of the
worries.
class. All right. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow for the conversation.
Okay, teacher. See you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.